Hi, this is Ken Hobbs with Cash for College. This is the California Cash for College Workshop Wrapper Training. It's a 10-minute training video. Usually it takes 30 minutes, so I'm going to be going through this really quickly. Here we go. In order to start the whole process, you want to log into the workshop management system using your account. Go ahead and do that now. Once you've logged in, go to Deliver, Launch Workshops. Here you'll find this video. It's not currently listed because I'm producing it now. A set of trainings. Be sure and take a look at those trainings to see if any of them are interesting to you or applicable. After that, you'll see a set of workshop materials, including the printable exit survey. You want to have some printable exit surveys ready just in case you lose your internet connection or have other technical problems during your workshop. Then you'll want to hand out the printable exit surveys. You find instructions for the survey as well as all the presentations for the FAFSA and the California DREAM Act student login and parent PIN card. Below that, you'll find a list of your workshops. You're going to want to go to the wrapper instructions for the workshop that you're going to be conducting. We're going to be looking at this one at Foothill High School because today is the 25th of January. These wrapper instructions are sufficient for any of your volunteers to launch the wrapper stations that are in your computer lab. With this, they shouldn't need anything else but to follow these instructions. They are comprehensive, so if they follow them closely, they won't have a problem launching the wrapper. The first section includes reiteration of the workshop that you're conducting and the wrapper code. I'm going to go ahead and copy that because I know I'm going to need it later. Below that, you have a set of requirements. In particular, you need to have internet-connected PCs. If you have a choice of browser, choose Firefox or Chrome, as Internet Explorer has some issues, especially with the FAFSA. It's not an ideal experience, so if you have a choice, choose Firefox or Chrome. If you're going to be using tablets, you're going to want to be sure to test them out well in advance. Different tablets have different results. In particular, we found that if you do not have a separate keyboard, that it's particularly difficult because the on-screen keyboard takes up half of the display. It makes completing a lot of these applications very difficult. Below that is a list of websites that you want to make sure are accessible from your lab, because each one of them play into the application process. It includes links to the FAFSA, the California DREAM Act application, the Chafee application, and the wrapper itself. At some point you may need to talk to your IT staff, whether it be for your school or your district. You want to try and get their help early, test early, ensure that you're able to reach all of these sites. Also, you want to make sure that their maintenance schedule does not conflict with your workshop time. And also, just as a note, exit surveys must be completed at the workshop. That's one of the requirements for scholarship qualification. So do not hand out the wrapper code to anybody. They should not be taking them with them. Don't put them up on a whiteboard. Keep them well secured as if they were a password. There are two sections in the printable wrapper instructions. The first section are instructions on launching the wrapper. The second section is on monitoring exit survey completion. We're going to go through the first 4 steps under launching the wrapper. This is what your volunteers are going to be doing with a set of these instructions in hand. So I've already copied my wrapper code, so I'm going to follow the first step, which is to open up a browser, preferably Chrome, Firefox, or Safari again, and go to the wrapper at calgrants.org/wrapper. Once you're there, the very first instruction is to press F11 in order to full screen mode. Reason for this is a deterrent to keep people at the workshop from closing the wrapper. What going to full screen mode does is get rid of the Chrome, that is the close button, the address bar, and all the tabs. It just sends the browser into full screen mode, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So now I'm in full screen mode. You can see that the Chrome is gone. Alright, before your workshop, you want to practice, get an idea of what the wrapper is all about. You can do that by selecting practice mode, entering your wrapper code. You can do that at any time. However, the live mode, which is the mode that you're going to want to select when you're launching the wrapper on each one of the workstations, can only be opened the day of the workshop, not before, not after. So I'm going to select live mode because our workshop is listed for today, and I'm going to put in the wrapper code and click next. The next page confirms the workshop. Make sure this is correct because you don't want exit surveys to be going into the wrong workshop. This can only happen if you have 2 workshops on the same day anyhow, but just ensure this is correct workshop. If it is, click Confirm. And it takes you to the final page. This is what each one of the workstations at your workshop should look like when the students come in, and each time a new student sits down at the computer as well. The wrapper does a good job of controlling that. Let's talk about the wrapper in these three sections. The first is the section for foster youth students. They complete the FAFSA, the CHAFE, and an exit survey. I'm going to go to the last column, which is for California DREAM Act students and AB 540s. They complete the California DREAM Act application, the exit survey. The center section is for everybody else. They complete the FAFSA and the exit survey. The common thread is everybody completes an exit survey. So let's just take a real quick look at what happens when you go to the FAFSA. I'll click that now. It opens up a window that has a FAFSA application. The student can then go through the process, get as far as they can in completing the FAFSA application, and when they're done, they'll follow the instruction at the bottom here that says, when you're done with the FAFSA, close this window. Doing that brings them back to the wrapper. Foster youth students will complete a CHAFE application. I'm going to select that now. This opens up a window that contains the CHAFE application. It does open up midway down the page. Not exactly sure why, but be aware of that. The instructions are at the top part of the page, and it will open for some reason that we haven't been able to figure out yet down to the bottom of the page, so just know that the instructions are at the top. Go ahead and close that now, following the instructions at the bottom. When you're done with the CHAFE, close this window. Now let's take a look at the DREAM Act application, which is only applicable to California DREAM Act students and AB 540s. So this is the California DREAM Act application. They'll go through and, like the FAFSA, for foster youth students and general students, the California DREAM Act students and AB 540s will complete the DREAM Act application, and in the same way, when they're done, they'll close this window and it brings them back. So the final thing that each one of the three groups do is complete the exit survey. So I'm going to select that under general students. It's the same for each. It's a survey. It's the same as it has been in prior years. The student will go ahead and go through and answer questions. Don't mention this to them, but for brevity's sake, I'm going to select question number 7 because I know that is the only required question. But I do want to draw your attention to questions 15 through 17. 15 asks if they completed their FAFSA or DREAM Act application. If they indicate some, not all, or no, none, they will be placed in your follow-up list. The follow-up list will be the subject of a different training, but for now, I just want to point out that if they select some, not all, or none, questions number 16 and 17 become enabled. If they click yes, they remain disabled. So if they say some or no, they'll answer question 16 and 17, first indicating why they didn't finish it and whether they want more help. I'll say yes. Go to the final, to the end of the page, click continue, brings them to the second page of the exit survey, which is all about contact information. I'll go ahead and enter in my information. I'll go ahead and just go through some of these fields quickly in order to stay under our 10 minutes. New to the exit survey this year is the DACA SSN. That has to do with the DREAM Act. If you're not familiar with it, be sure and find out about the DACA SSN. The student will indicate if they have a regular SSN or a DACA SSN. Depending upon which one they select, they will enter then the last four digits of the DACA or regular SSN. If they don't, they will choose I do not have an SSN, or I don't remember it, in which case this field becomes disabled and removes the value. So I'll go ahead and say I have a DACA and put in a number and click finish. That's it for the exit survey. Like the other windows, the FAFSA, DREAM Act, and CHAFE, they close this window when they're done, brings you back to the wrapper, and this station would now be ready for the next student. So I'm going to go ahead and bring this out of full screen mode so that I can then go back into the workshop management system. So I'm going to refresh this page. First of all, notice that there, at the time that I opened this, there were 5 exit surveys. There now obviously should be 6 because I just completed one more. The way that we can know, and we want to ensure that everybody who attends the workshop completes the exit survey, you have a checkout station. The checkout station, I'm going to go ahead and launch that now, is a list of all the people who have completed the exit survey. You want to have a checkout station in each room that has computers in it, and you want to place it near the door. Man it with somebody the entire time your workshop is taking place. They should stop anybody who's heading out the door and check to ensure that their name is in the list. Again, this is the only way that you can be sure that they've completed an exit survey. An exit survey is a requirement for the scholarship. If they do not complete an exit survey, they will not be in the pool of qualified candidates for the scholarship, and they'll lose that opportunity. One thing to note is that this list does not refresh itself, so you will want to click the refresh button at the top or the bottom of the page each time you stop somebody at the door. Ensure that their name is in the list. You can see this one right here is the one, actually this one right here is the one that I just submitted. I had indicated when you launch the wrapper that there was a practice mode. You can practice with the checkout station as well by switching over to practice mode, and this lists all of the people who have all of the exit surveys that were submitted under practice mode. None of these get used in selecting the scholarship, but it is good practice so that you can practice both the wrapper and the checkout station. I'll go ahead and close this. That concludes this training for the workshop wrapper. If anybody has questions or has difficulties during the workshop, I do want to point out on the wrapper, and I'll get to the wrapper by going to my wrapper instructions and clicking the link right here, just as a quick way to get here. My contact information, Ken Hobbs, is listed right here. If you have any difficulty setting up the wrapper during a workshop, do call me. I'm available at all times. The first number that's listed is Despina Kostopoulos. She is the Cash for College Program Coordinator. If you have any questions about Cash for College, the FAFSA, the DREAM Act, or anything having to do with financial aid, she would be the appropriate person. She's programs, I'm technical. So that's it. Thank you for being a Cash for College organizer and having Cash for College workshop, and best of luck to you.